You can write that book. I know you can, and I know you may have had thoughts in your head like, it's too hard, I don't know where to start, where would I find the time? A lot of people do worry about these things, or they've tried in the past and they've had writer's block. Now I'll tell you a secret. Writer's block does not exist. I've proven this, and I've been quoted in the press for saying that writer's block is simply lack of a good plan. Think about it. If you knew exactly what you were going to write, would you be blocked? No, because when you're sitting there and you can't write, it's because you don't know what to write, and that's because you haven't planned it out. See, I'm a big believer in having a plan and a structure and a process that gets you all the way through the journey so that you end up with a great book fast. We've helped hundreds of people do it at the Book Midwife, and we'd like to help you too. So I hope that writer's block idea has made you start thinking about it. We laugh about it. It's quite fun to laugh at yourself. But really, the process of writing a book can be made much simpler than we make it. I had a client last year who had been struggling and writing a book for 3 years. Now, it's my belief that she wasn't writing a book for 3 years. She was messing about for 3 years and little bursts of activity. But the process and the agony had been going on for 3 years. And that's quite normal. The average is 2 to 3 years for people to struggle through writing a book if they haven't got a good plan, a good process, maybe a good coach. And this lady, anyway, when we finally got down to it, we were able to nail her key messages. We were able to nail the structure and outline for the book. That gave her confidence. Of course she knew what she was talking about, but she needed to figure out what was going to be in the book and what was going to be left out. She needed to know that this was going to be the right book for her target market. Because let's face it, some books end up not quite right, don't they? They end up a little bit too long, and you think, oh, for goodness sakes, why did it have to go on and on? Or not long enough. I read a book the other day, and I felt frustrated because the authors hadn't put in enough detail on many of the examples. So you want to have enough, but not too much. And how do you know? You just might need a bit of input from people who know what they're talking about and people who've seen a lot of books. In our process, we look at all of these things and a lot more. A lot of people really do have great intentions, and I know you do too. I know you do want to write it. What I've seen over the past few years is that people let their psychology influence them. They let fears and doubts and critics inside and outside derail them, and they stall with the book. A lot of people quit. A lot of people never even get one draft of their book done. I really feel for people who are sabotaging themselves at every step. I know why it goes on. As I say, a lot of it is to do with psychology. They have a thought that they've never written a book before, so maybe they're not a good writer. Maybe they've been told they're not a good writer. Maybe you've been told that. I mean, you have to think about who told you that and when. If it was in primary school and it was a teacher who actually meant your spelling is not very good, is that really relevant to your being able to write a powerful book on your topic? I believe that you can overcome a lot of these things, and that's exactly what we do. We help people overcome these things every day. Now, dealing with external people is really interesting because everybody's an expert. Isn't it true? Everybody's got their idea about how you should write your book and how you should publish. Publishing in itself is a minefield. We'll talk about that a lot more in the next video. But I want you to think about whether you are letting fears and uncertainty around publishing stop you from even writing. That's what a lot of people do. They want to know exactly when and how they're going to publish before they even write it. Well, let me tell you one thing. If you follow a good process and you put together a good book, and I mean, when I say good, I mean a book that serves the needs of your market and your readers who you know and understand, and you put together good information for them with good intentions, and you follow the right process so the book ends up the right length and engaging, you will get that book published. There's lots of ways to publish, not just the traditional route where you have to bang your head against the wall and spend a couple of years trying to get an agent and a book deal and trying to get someone else to invest in your book. There are lots of ways to do it that don't need to cost a lot at all. What if I were to tell you to just park that, just put that to one side, that fear and that doubt and that thought about how you're going to publish and exactly how it's all going to work. What if I were to ask you to trust me? I know we've just met, but trust me, because I have seen hundreds and thousands of people succeed. We've helped them. I've met so many of them over the years, and it's so rewarding. And a lot of that has been just trusting the process, because it does work. And if you can just say, my book will be published, it'll allow you to write it. In fact, say it to yourself right now. My book will be published. I'll give you a second. Your book will be published. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. I've also been quoted in the press for saying that every book deserves to be written and published. Do you believe that? Because there are some people in our industry that don't believe it. But I will fight for your book, and I'll fight for you. I know your book deserves to be published. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you write it.